Morning. My name is Judy Thierry. I'm a Master Gardener with the Pierce County Master Gardener Foundation, and standing here in the University Place Community Garden, I'm president of the steering committee and have been a longtime member here at the garden, close to 7 years now. It's my pleasure today to talk about seed saving, and one of the seeds that I'm going to talk about today is corn. I purchased some glass gem organic seeds last year and have worked with the Scouts in a project, and we've planted only this corn in the garden. It's a flint corn or hard corn. It's for popping or grinding, and I have on this tree here where the corn family is. These are some of the brothers and sisters of the corn. And corn is 6,000 years old. So the corn you see here that we produced at the garden is Zea maize, Z-E-A-M-A-Y-S. And it came originally from Mexico. And if you look at this larger tree that includes mosquitoes and malaria parasites, you can see where corn is on the phylogenetic tree there. 4,000, 6,000 years old. Southern Mexico is the origin of this Zea maize, but there is Old World corn, which is I found interesting in my researching. So here we see the dried corn on the cob. Corn will not automatically disassemble itself from its mantle or its husk. Only it needs human intervention. So it's not, it's from grasses. It cannot spread its seeds. It needs human interaction to spread the seeds. You see the female part here, and here's the male. So the pollen comes out first, 3 to 4 days. There's very intricate timing for that, and I will share a website that I think is really nice on the development of the corn. So here I'm using a drying rack that I have in my house for drying vegetables, fruits. And it's a nice way, if your seeds aren't completely dry, maybe like on 100 degrees you can dry your corn. So this all looks like blue corn, but it's actually from these set of same kernels here, from all the same seeds. So here's the corn. You can see a little bit of the kind of the top layer of the husks or the outside part of the seed coat is kind of coming off. But here's the corn, and the best place to store it is cold and dry, not damp. If you freeze it, that's fine, but once you take it out of the freezer, you need to bring it to room temperature. There's lots of particulars about saving seeds that I think are important and require further reading. So here's our corn, and I'll just set it on top here for the time being and move to our next. So here's a packet that I've used for my corn, because it's a fair amount, and I like to just kind of have it, give it a little room. So that's what I've used, kind of a mailing envelope. And I could put a piece of tape across this so that it's really enclosed. And then I could put it in a plastic bin, not probably a cardboard bin, but a plastic bin for safekeeping. Just again, this is glass gem. It's a Cherokee heirloom corn, and it has to dry on the stalk to mature and find its way into the next year. Corn is good for 1 to 2 years. I lived in the Southwest. There they would find corn kernels that were 1,000 years old. So we know corn, if it's dry and in a right environment, will last. I chose to talk about buckwheat. Buckwheat is a ground cover But buckwheat also makes buckwheat flour, which is heavily used. It's really great nutritional substance. This is from Baker Creek Heirloom Seed Company. No endorsements or anything, but I just love this color. Buckwheat, usually I associate it as having white blossoms, but I grew this as a ground cover from my garden this year. Yeah, ground cover crop, just a crop rotation. So here I'm using a strainer just to show you the seeds up close. There's a little bit of other waste in there with it, but a strainer or likewise some other sifting device kind of helps you separate the seeds. You want your seeds pretty clean and not a lot of other stuff in them so that you have actual seed material. I haven't kind of cleaned that out yet. Buckwheat, obviously, as I said, can be used for eating, cover crop. And I'm going to grind this and see what it does, get the detritus out of it. And then I could replant this next year. The price of buckwheat, the price of seeds, we know, is going up. And this is a great way of controlling your seeds and knowing what you have. We grow organically here. So it's just a great opportunity to have some control of your seeds and play with it and see what works, what grows, if it's 80% take of sprouting and growing, which it should be. Lastly, here's some coriander. And I don't have any stalks of coriander, but you know it as a spice. And we have to remember its other name is cilantro, which is lovely in so many different ethnicities and cuisines and cooking. So here you see the coriander seeds again with a little bit of other pieces from the plant on it. These are nice and dry. I've kept them in this little jar. So, don't throw away all your glass jars. These are nice airtight containers. You can grab one of those little silica pouches that you get with shoes or other things and just drop it in here to dry it even further. But these have been air dried away from the sun and are ready to go. You do have to kind of watch when you're growing something for seed and leave it on the stalk through its season, through its final season. You want the seeds to get to maturity. Some people like green coriander, so if you want that for cooking, that's fine. But these are very brown and dry and harvested at that time. That's the thing you have to begin to tolerate is, wow, that looks kind of like a messy garden, but here are their seeds that you are creating. And you may label your garden, please don't touch, I'm creating seeds here. So that's 3 opportunities here to play with seeds and enjoy what you produce and what you can grow from seed next year. So thank you so much.